Good after morning. Welcome into twitch.tv/ice cream uploads. My name is Graham Day and I'm joined by the man that we call Beep.
Hello, Graham.
No. There's a man in an ice cream studio. You alright?
No, I think I'm going to burp.
Nice. Welcome into twitch.tv/ice cream uploads. My name is Graham Day. I'm joined by Bibby. We are ice cream uploads and in true ice creamy fashion. This is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast, if we do say so ourselves. We are live on twitch.tv/ice cream uploads, where we go live each and every single weekday. Nice.
That was an hiccup.
/
burp.
Burp up.
Burp up.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah, we go live on Twitch at 10 a.m.
Globally? No.
Nice. Ish. It's 2:26, so it's not quite 10 a.m., but it could be worse. Anyway, we are here for the next hour or so to bring you the biggest, the best, and breaking stories from the world of video games. We'll give you our thoughts and impressions. We want to hear your thoughts and impressions, and then your thoughts and impressions and our thoughts and impressions. We might even give you our thoughts and impressions and yours. It's kind of how the whole thing works. Lots of thoughts and impressions. Before any of that happens, though, we do want to hear your thoughts and impressions because we are live on Twitch, but the live stream is turned into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes and Spotify and SoundCloud and Google Play. There is lots of places where nearly 200,000 people have watched and listened to this podcast on demand.
Wowzers.
1,000 in the last week.
More than that.
1,360 just on SoundCloud in the last week. What the fuck?
I don't know. We just got caught in some sort of algorithm. I mean, I'm not complaining.
Nice.
I do not care.
Nice. So yeah, if you are watching on Twitch, please do feel free to get involved because there's going to be 1,500 people on SoundCloud alone that will have watched and listened to this. Well, listen to this in the next week or so. So please get involved on behalf of those that are watching on demand because they can't speak to us live right here, right now in the studio. All right, Fatboy Slim. Right here, right now.
So City come out to that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. But welcome in. If you're in the stream, please do feel free to say hello. Shout out to Mr. Pout Pout, who says that going live notification is very clever. Made me double take. And then I typed !bait, but I didn't realise that I've not copied that. So I need to do an export from home because there's a few more that I've added in that aren't in the studio. Like bait is one of them because it says something along the lines of what was it? Ice Cream Upload just tagged you in a comment or something like that, and it references that.
It says tagged you in their stream.
Yeah, but the !bait references that bit about them being. It says you tagged me, and it says something like we didn't tag you, but you're here now, so hey, or something like that. Yeah,
amazing.
12 Ed with the !moth. So there's a few sound files and stuff that we need to bring over, including the core. Yeah, what are they good for? PUBG console esports, sing it again. Which I made yesterday and David made into a track.
Fantastic. Nice one, Dave.
Nice. Pro Fat Boy, good afternoon. Oh, Droidica's dad's in.
Droidica's dad's in.
Nice.
Say hello to you.
How's the little one?
The whole family's here. It's tickling me, that.
Cookies, good after morning. How we doing? Welcome in. 12 Ed. Maybe size of that moth.
Do you want a live one?
Go on.
Fucking size of that moth.
Good after morning, guys. Good afternoon, Gagad. Welcome in. How you doing? Hey. For everyone dropping in the stream, let me give you an update, a heads up on what we're going to be talking about. We will be talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 Season 3. So there's lots of numbers in there. Mm-hmm. My brain didn't really comprehend, but we'll go through that in detail. We'll then talk about Final Fantasy VII DLC.
Baby.
In PowerWash.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's interesting. Interesting.
We'll
then talk about Xbox being carbon aware. Their energy saving features are now available to everyone. We'll then talk about Xbox Game Pass. After cannibalizing all the sales, all of the games on it are leaving.
Oh my God. Maybe we should have gone with that as a tagline.
Maybe we should. Absolute clickbait. Oh, we missed it.
No.
No, there are some games leaving it Xbox Game Pass. We'll tell you what they are, plus what's coming to Xbox Game Pass. Plus, we'll talk about PS Plus Extra, Premium, and the new games that will be coming to those services in February 2023. Before any of that happens, shout out to the sponsors. I don't know if the links actually exist in the studio yet, but !Astro, GT Omega, insert coin. They definitely all work at home. I know that. They might not be in the studio. But shout out to all the sponsors for providing us with lovely chairs and sexy merch and
headsets.
Beautiful headsets and nice. The ICU boys are in the building.
We are actually in the building. The ICU studios.
I mean, to be fair, we've had that many green screen stuffs on this channel. Are we in the building?
Very good point.
We could be in IKEA.
I hope not. And then again, I want some meatballs, so that'd be great.
Yeah. Get some chips and some gravy, please. Thank you very much.
Yes, please.
Big old stack of dime bars.
Hot dog chaser.
Oh. Ooh. It's the ICU. Doctor, welcome in. Oi, oi. Okay, let's jump into some news. Should we talk about games?
Do you know what? I'm here to talk about video games, Graham.
Nice. Well, the first story we're going to talk about today is Call of Duty Modern Warfare related. Anybody update their Call of Duty yesterday? I haven't
yet.
I thought I had an issue with my stream setup yesterday because we were playing games and I couldn't connect back to the lobby after the game finished.
You have internet connections.
I know, imagine this. But I looked at my downloads and Call of Duty Modern Warfare, like Warzone stuff, was updating. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. So I paused the updates and then realised it was PUBG servers. So,
how long did it take you to realise that it was PUBG servers?
It would have taken me forever because, I mean, I have internet issues. So, but it was people coming in the chat going, yeah, PUBG's down for Europe. I was like, okay. So it was only when Silencer started having issues about a couple of minutes later as well. I was like, there we go. Mm-hmm. And then after about 20 minutes of faffing, we finally got back in. But shout out to the Core boys, by the way. I'd say type in !Core, but that's another one that I've set up at home that I've not brought into the studio. We were playing with Code Red last night. We got a nice dub with them as well, which was nice. First dub. You love to see it. I lost all my points. Yeah, you're not the only one. Nietzsche lost all of his points. Beans,
did he have any to start with? Nietzsche,
yeah.
I'm sure last time I was in the stream fucked it.
I think he won some back and then lost them all again. We had the biggest channel points win ever on stream last night. So if I go back to the dashboard, there was 561,000 channel points thrown down in one.
Who won?
Beans, surprisingly. Oh no, Beans lost some, I think, in the end. Was it? I know Neil lost them. Neil had shitloads. He was like, if I win this, I go from like 200k to being able to put in a mod application. He don't have 200k. Yeah, he don't have 200k anymore.
I'll see you in 2 years, Neil.
So I think Beans had a shitload more, and he was like, "Can I pay for Neil's mod application?" I was like, "That's not how it works. That's cheating the system. You can only pay for your own. You can't pay for someone else because no. Channel don't work.
Is it you can reject?
Yeah, I mean, you got to throw it down. Let's see. But yeah, it was like I think Nietzsche won one. It was like gay up your mucky sausage and then instantly lost it again afterwards or something like that.
The rise and fall of Nietzsche.
It was something along those lines. It may not have worked exactly like that, but Casserole was in the stream and it was like 200,000 sprinkles on yes, will we get silver or above from one of the crates? And Casserole went all in with 383 sprinkles and it was no, and the answer came out as no. So if it had stayed like that, Casserole would have gone from 300 to 200,000 but then it ended up with like 600.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, well, I mean, Beans won some.
Obviously.
Surprise.
Rigged.
I would rather play Jet Wash Simulator than COD.
Funny you should say that, actually.
Yeah, you keep yourself comfy, Kenny. Spent 53,000 not betting on you winning if Bibby isn't there. Hope United don't do the same tonight, mate.
Not betting on you winning if Bibby isn't there. I mean, that's fair. Am I the good luck charm? Is that what he's trying to say?
Something like that.
Because the last time I fucking betted, I lost everything. I'm now down to about 3,000 sprinkles.
I'm United today versus. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying you was hoping we'd lost. I was going to say, let's go. What's your Spanish team, Doctor? Is it Madrid? Are you a Real fan? Is that what it is? Or am I wrong there? I could have sworn you were a Real fan. I evened it without thinking. Oh yeah. Yeah, so David lost a chunk as well yesterday.
I can't remember the last stream that I was in. It was on a Saturday one, and I'm sure... No, it wasn't. It must have been a Thursday one. And your brother ended up winning big. It was a stream that I was in. It was a stream that I was playing with you. It was Saturday afternoon, it was, a couple of weeks ago. Well, and I'm sure he won big then.
David often wins big. David had the biggest win until pretty recently, which I don't know if that was Beans, but that was like 270k or something like that. But yesterday, Beans won, I think, 380k, 385k or something like that.
He shouldn't be allowed anywhere near this place, Beans.
Yeah, I mean, he'd lost like 100 in the one before it. What the fuck? Whoop, whoop. Just like popped up and popped back down again.
Everyone's looking at their Slack now.
Let's mute that. So yeah. That's how it went. Anyway, Real till I die. Nice. It's all right. Barcelona are going to get absolutely turned over tonight.
I think it's going to be a good game. I've got 2-2, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think United are vulnerable on the counter, but they're also deadly on the counter.
Yeah, I think the thing is...
You got Casemiro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, it was only a local suspension in it, so he can play... it's domestic, as they call it, so you can play like your European fixtures. The thing is, both teams are there to be taken, and both teams could take anyone else.
I think it's going to be a goal fest. If I was a betting man, this is if you win, I was definitely splitting the winnings. But if I was a betting man, I'd go over 3.5 goals, a goal in each half.
There you go, Doctor.
That's what I'd go off tonight. Goals in each half. Yeah, so over 3.5, both teams to score in each half. That's what I'd go for today.
Oh, imagine, like if you put a quid on that, you could be like $6,000 richer tomorrow or whatever.
But yeah, I think it is genuinely going to be a goal fest.
Got 420. Can't even buy some sunflower seeds for the game. Get all your players, the good ones, injured for the cup game. No, Casemiro could just play in the Barca games, and then he's back for the cup games. So easy dubs. It was a smart move, calculated.
Well, I mean, to be fair, when he gets injured or he gets suspended or something like that, it feels like United have to change their entire formation to try and bring either McTominay or Fred in there, or someone to play alongside, because you don't have Eriksen now, do you? He's injured for the next couple of months.
And that's the thing. I think that's the compounding thing. We've lost the defensive linchpin, and he's not just a defensive linchpin. A lot of people forget how creative Casemiro is. That long ball over the top that you just like. Martinez can play the same sort of pass, but having those two as outlets for that is sexual.
Yeah.
But you get rid of that, you think, oh, well, Eriksen can still do it. And you get rid of that, and it's like, Fred?
Yeah. Fred? I mean, God loves a trier, and that man tries.
He does, bless him. I have warmed to him a little bit. I still don't think he's good enough for a United shirt. And
McTominay isn't available.
There's
Spencer Jordan.
Yeah, as well in brackets. The thing with Fred is like there's nothing more heartbreaking than seeing the ball either from a corner or someone's taken a shot and the ball's deflected back out onto the edge of the box, and you see a red shirt running onto it, and you just think,
no, you hear the roar of the crowd first going
shoo. It's like the shoo, but then it changes to an shit. It's just like that is getting sliced. That is definitely hoofing off the side of his shit.
Yeah, it's going into car park.
If United come out full attack, you could get a big win. Barca have been accused of paying the vice president of refs or refs help nearly $2 million between 2016 and 2019. I did see that article earlier on, but I was chatting to someone, so I thought, I'll look at that in a minute, and then your Twitter feed's like or whatever, it just disappears, and I just completely forgot about it completely.
Just seen Jonas comment.
You see the red shirt running towards it. It's our Lord and Saviour, Pastor Fred, who is sending it back to God.
That's fantastic. Hey, it's funniest thing you've ever said that, Jordan.
That's from the alternative United.
Oh, is it?
Sort of
I'll take that back then.
Like that's what what do they call Arnold Schwarzenegger bit? So woot. It's the sound of the horse, Weghorst. Wout. It's fucking amazing.
I love those alternative commentaries. They're so much better than the actual thing.
The skin fed jagger.
The skin fed. It's Gascoigne. Dink. It's supposed. Fucking class.
Want to see Garnacho do the soo. Nice. Anyway, sorry. Football aside. I mean, I'm wearing a football jersey. Wrong football. Mm-hmm. But yeah, let's talk about video game news. Bibby's been ready for it for ages. Let's jump in. Hi. Do you know what? I've forgotten where it is. There it is. Let's just move us over.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I've forgotten. Is it that way? Oh, he's got it. He's got it. Who's got it? Wrong place. Nice. It's funny how gravity only affects me and not me.
Oh yeah, well, I've got a large centre of gravity.
I just need to keep holding it so you know where we're going. Nice. Okay. First Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Warzone 2 Season 3 details have been revealed. This is from Tom Ivan at VGC. The tagline says, Season 2 has also launched, and its mid-season reloaded update will add a new multiplayer map. So Activision has revealed the first details for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 Season 3. The company teased what's to come next season at the end of the patch notes for Season 2, which launched on Wednesday. Wednesday? Nice. So Season 3 will include the return of the multiplayer mode Gunfight, which will receive new maps soon. Warzone Ranked will be introduced in Season 3, along with the returning Plunder mode, which is actually a great mode, by the way, which features full respawns and challenges players to loot the most cash. As noted by Charlie Intel, Season 3 could be set to start around April the 12th, based on the game's updated Battle Pass timer. Activision has also announced new details about Season 2 Reloaded. The mid-season update will add a new core 6v6 multiplayer map, which was teased with the image below. Quotes, the Infinity Ward multiplayer team has decided to move the map up as it's already playtesting well and tracking ahead of its schedule, it said. Following Season 2's launch, Raven Software has confirmed it's investigating an issue causing some players to get stuck when attempting to revive teammates. Key features of the latest season include Warzone 2's new Japanese-themed map Ashika Island, the return of Resurgence mode, a streamlined spin-off of the game's regular Battle Royale with respawns enabled, and Modern Warfare 2 has added fresh multiplayer maps, new game modes, and weapons, and rank play in Season 2. Thoughts, babe?
Yeah, I mean, it's a step in the right direction. I think, by the way, I have noticed, Dave, I know you mentioned the other day about it starting to blur. I did actually notice it then. On that screen, our actual, this is obviously what the streamer's seeing. On that screen there, it looks perfectly fine, but on the outputting stream, it starts to blur as I'm going down. When it's static like that, it's fine. But I did notice it blur, so I'll have to see what's going on there. It might be the capture card.
Yeah,
resetting
it'll definitely be some maybe some sort of, it could even just be a frames issue or something like that.
I'll check that out after the stream anyway. But yeah, again, it's a step in the right direction. I know a lot of people who was waiting eagerly for Warzone 2.0 that haven't really been able to get back into the full swing of it since Warzone, from Warzone, just Warzone, no one needs to call it 1.0, but the original Warzone 2.0 looks like it's starting to get some of that love back, which is great. There's a lot of new things being added to it. I've seen a lot of people who are claiming that what the state that it's currently in now after the update is how it should have been when it released, which is a massive thing. It's a massive props for them to be able to say that. Like, they're obviously doing something right. I will have to go back and actually amend the title because I've got it all down to Season 3, which is what is looking forward rather than what we're talking about now. So I'll change that to Season 2. So apologies if I've clickbaited anyone who's in there looking for some Season 3 stuff. We are mentioning Season 3 stuff, if I'm being honest.
I mean, that says Warzone 2 Season 3 in the tagline of the title, so...
There we go. But yeah, it looks like we're starting to get back into what made Warzone great in the first place. It seemed like it was released with a lot of things that people was expecting to be in there, or that was told that was going to be in there. I'm going to update it when I get home if it's not already auto updated, because I do want to get back into playing some DMC at some point.
I'm happy for them. I did see something then. What was that? Was that a new follow? If it was a new follow, do feel free to let us know in the chat. I missed it. Jay Ziggs, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. So I am happy for Activision, for Call of Duty, and for anyone that plays Warzone to see like where they are, where they're going with it, because it launched in a decent state. Obviously, there was a lot of things that people were like unhappy about, a lot of stuff in the game that they've had to go back and tweak and so on. And fair dues, they tried to change it for the better, and it didn't work out to be that. So they've pulled a few bits back. But things like Plunder, which was a huge mode in the first Warzone, like, I prefer the Battle Royale, but I do like change of pace. I do like dropping into Plunder because it's a completely different game mode. You can absolutely sweat your ass out in Plunder and take out a couple of teams that have been absolutely lighting the game up, take their plunder, and then that's it. You've got shitloads of cash. For those that don't know how it works, rather than killing people, you can do missions to get some money in game, or you can kill other teams and take their stuff, or you can pick up cash off the ground. And it's the team that has the most cash at the end of the game. It's the race. I think it was the race to 1 million. But if you don't get to 1 million, you then basically get added time where you get more like loot bonus multipliers and things like that. So you either then get into the position of, okay, I'm in first. If we just sit in this corner and camp and cover doors, then we might be fine. But the other team don't have to come and kill you. They can go and get another mission. But because it's an added time multiplier thing, rather than getting 100k, they get 200k, 300k. Yeah. So then you're like, fuck, we're in second place now. We've got to push out. And it's a cool game. It's a different game. But the fact that it wasn't there, like playing Warzone early days with my mate Martin, he was like, Why is there no plunder? This is a bit disappointing. Seeing that stuff being added in now, plus new maps and stuff, it's cool. It's cool. I still feel like they have lost something that they haven't recovered, and that is the Funko Pop 12-head nice. The Funko Pop Fortnite, a bit of everything in it vibe that they had previously. So like there's obviously Neymar, Paul Pogba, and Messi was in the game at launch around the World Cup in December time. But then they've not really had anything beyond that. They've got their creator skins, but by this point, like in January last year, the year before, Scream came out. So we got the Scream thing just after Christmas. We'd had John Rambo. We'd had John McClane. There was more film stuff and 80s stuff. I'm pretty sure there was probably some Jason Voorhees or something like that as well. And they've not done any of that.
Was there a Terminator in there as well?
Yeah, I think there might have been, actually. But we haven't had any of that in this. And is that because they've just not bothered with that? They want those were expensive licenses that they didn't make the money back on? Or is that something that they just feel like, do you know what? We'd rather push our own stuff. Because there's two ways you go with this. You either do a Fortnite and you throw in your Marvels and everything like that. But then the stuff that people were hyped about in the early days, the Skeleton Trooper or whatever they called it, basically the stuff that like Myth and everyone wore in the early days, became irrelevant because it's like, great, that's just a generic default skin when there's an actual Iron Man skin. So Fortnite's own skins are just not as cool anymore. Some of the older stuff, like I have nostalgia, like the Joneses or the Mr. Midas or Midas or whatever it's called. Those still have a little bit of substance. But the new ones, it's like, oh great, there's 10 new new faces that we don't give a shit about in this thing yet. And then you get 10 new ones in the next season and 10 new ones in the next. It's like, to use a Star Wars reference, you've got Captain Kirk and Spock and stuff like that. And then there's always a guy that goes down to the planet. They call them the red shirts. They're all wearing like the yellow shirts and the blue shirts and stuff like that. But then there's this little guy that you've never seen before with his red shirt. He's dead. He's dying. He's full on getting eaten by a plant or something like that.
Just before you get eaten alive by plants.
Where?
Star Trek.
Did I not say Star Trek?
No, you said Star Wars.
Did I? Oh, fuck.
The nerds are coming! The nerds are coming!
I well thought I said Star Trek. Fuck! Sorry, David, settle down.
I'm about to say, he's got all caps on ready to type out. But the thing is about the Funko Pop stuff, obviously surely everyone gets what we mean by that, right?
I hope so.
But yeah, I always thought it was a bit weird in Call of Duty because you only get to see them really when you do an execution kill and when you're jumping out the plane. Although other people get to see you.
There's a TPP mode now, though.
Yeah, there is. To be fair, yeah.
Arguably, you are right, though. It was a bit silly because you'd see it when you jump out of a plane at the beginning, you get the animation and stuff, and then you see it when you kill someone, and you see it when you extract. But it's for the benefit of everyone else and not you.
Well, at least with like Fortnite, you get to see it all the time. I'm still waiting for the Jill Valentine skin to come back into the game because that's got money written all over it. But they don't want to make me happy.
No,
bastards.
So yeah, I mean, I'd love to see them do more of that sort of stuff if that's the way they're going to go. If they don't do that, then that's also fine. It's just a different direction taken by the brand. I'm personally disappointed because after getting John McClane and Ghostface and this, that, and the other, I was hyped at starting Warzone. That was genuinely a good part of the reason for me not continuing to play. I was disappointed. I know it's only skins and it's only gameplay, but for me that was a key visual part. The game, I don't play the game for the hardcore gameplay. If I want the hardcore gameplay, I'd go back to PUBG because I enjoy that gameplay at its core more than Warzone. But the whole package of it looking better, the mechanics being exceptionally tweaked and so on, and then it just being Ghostface and fucking stabbing and fucking... But nah, it not being there was disappointing. But there's a lot in there. So if you are playing Call of Duty, you're interested in Warzone, Season 2 just landed. Lots of people hyping it. As Bibi said, a lot of people saying Call of Duty 2.0 is where it should have been at launch. If it launched like this, Warzone would have been on an absolute upward trend.
I do think that we all need, does Lois has it right? Nicho has it right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we need to get in some DMZ. I think that has some sort of narrative to it. It gives us ideas to do. It's very Tarkov-y. You've got again. I like playing games with a bit of jeopardy.
Yeah.
That's what makes games, multiplayer games. Fair enough, the single player ones, it's usually story driven, so you're going down a very linear path anyway. But I like games with jeopardy in there. That's why I like sports games. Risk and reward, and I think that's what DMZ is more than anything. It's risk and reward.
Yeah, and it's risk and reward, but a good balance to it as well. So we've said before, like Tarkov can be risk and reward, but there's a lot of risk often, and it can, because of the learning curve, it's quite difficult. That's what makes PUBG beautiful, is the learning curve. But sometimes you just need, either there's not enough people in your social circle playing it, or whatever. It just doesn't fit. And there must be something that's stopping Tarkov, because I reckon that's a game that speaks to both of us, but neither of us are playing it. DMZ is
two things. What? Price.
And it's on PC.
And it's on PC, yeah. Like, our PCs are a little bit old now, so...
I think we'd be able to, like, if we were that bothered, though, we'd find a way around that. But for some, beyond that, if it was like a game that you couldn't get anywhere else, you'd make it happen. But Tarkov Lite in DMZ, it ticks both of those boxes. Yeah. It's in a game we've already got, and it's accessible. So, yeah. Plus, obviously, you keep some of that jeopardy. You drop it down a bit, but you replace that with the accessibility. So,
yeah.
Nice. Speaking about accessibility, nice little bit of a segue into our next news article. If you want some Final Fantasy VII content, it's even easier to access. Nice.
Via your Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah. Ed Nightingale at Eurogame has this one. Final Fantasy VII DLC is coming to PowerWash. Simulator. Update: 5 filthy free levels arrive in a fortnight. Fuck me. Absolute tongue twister there, Ed. God damn. Okay, we'll jump past the update and go down to the original story. So Final Fantasy VII is the next game to receive DLC in PowerWash Simulator. The Midgar Special Pack will include the Hardy Daytona, Cloud's motorbike from the iconic City Escape sequence, as well as Tifa's Bar 7th Heaven, and Guard Scorpion, the first boss encountered in the game. There's currently no release date for this DLC, which has been announced by Square Enix Japan. And then if we scroll back up to the update...
Oh, sorry, I was watching the video.
Jump back up to the update. It does say PowerWash Simulator's free Final Fantasy DLC arrives on the 2nd of March and will be accessible here in the UK from 5 p.m. local time. 5 levels requiring your cleaning attention will include the Hardy Daytona motorbike and Shinra Hauler, the Scorpion Sentinel, the 7th Heaven Bar, the Mako Energy exhibit, and the Airbuster.
Exhibit.
Nice. As with the game's previous Tomb Raider DLC, this pack will be available to all owners of the game at no extra charge. Nice. It's Game Pass, so even better. Nice. Which is kind. Developer Future Lab could really have cleaned up.
I love that.
So, Final Fantasy stuff. I mean, if you're interested in this, I can't imagine there's many Square Enix fans out there that would be interested in this. I mean, any Square Enix fans that you can think of, Pip? Oh, fuck, wrong one. This one.
No.
Oh, Enix is in the chat.
Oh my gosh.
Play Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII DLC on PowerWash, but you can't play Final Fantasy VII Remake on Xbox.
Sorry, Jordan. I know I shouldn't laugh.
Is it? I can't remember what the situation was. That I know it's a PlayStation exclusive. Is it timed or is it forever?
I think it's 12 months.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
No.
No. He'll go out and buy a PlayStation for it just to play it and then sell his PlayStation.
Oh, yeah, he'll sell his PlayStation before he's played it, though, because you know what he's like. You know.
What was Crisis Core like? Because I need to get my hands on that, because I loved the PSP version of it. So I'd love to go back and play it. But I haven't actually played a Final Fantasy maybe since 13. No, 13 was online, wasn't it? It might have been 14. It was on the 360. That was the last one that I played.
I got whatever one had a 360 console, whether it was 13 or 14. Not because I wanted it, just because it was the same price and you got a spare faceplate and this, that, and the other. So I was like, yeah, go on then, whatever, fine. The faceplate is actually upstairs in that box of shit that's underneath my desk.
Well, it's at the side of your desk now, isn't it? Yeah, it's there.
So, yeah. Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core was the best PSP game made. It was a good remaster.
I mean, that's a bold claim, but I'm kind of there with him with that. I absolutely adored Crisis Core. I've heard a lot of amazing amazing things about the remake of it. So yeah, I've just not dived into it yet. It was a beautiful game on the PSP. I mean, the PSP was fucking godlike in it. I love that console.
I mean, I didn't, not because it was shit, but because I was impatient and was at uni and had my student loan, so I didn't want to wait for it to land. And I got one shipped in because I knew it was region free, but it was like it was either games or DVDs. One of them was or wasn't or whatever, which just basically just put me off. Then I was like, oh, fuck that shite.
No, I love it. I love mine. I still play mine.
I've played more PSP games on my Vita. Through legal avenues, by the way.
Obviously. Come on, Graham.
It came out in the FTC thing with Xbox and Activision. Sony had a clause under no circumstance, Final Fantasy VII Remake will make it to Xbox.
Oh, I thought it was a 1 year exclusive. Oh, okay.
Wow, imagine having a console that's that washed that you can't even get a Final Fantasy VII Remake on it. Oh, ! Game Pass if you want to play some Final Fantasy content. You can do through PowerWash Simulator. Let's go. Oh, sorry, settle down, Xbox fans. It's a joke. Chill out, mate. It relays the graphics close to the Final Fantasy VII Remake. There you go. You
Still haven't played the remake yet either. Jeez, I had it installed, but then I had to uninstall it for something else. I can't remember what it was that I had to uninstall it for, but I'll get there eventually when I get time back in 6 years.
Not really games for me. Like I say, I've said many times, and I will say it again. Blitzball, Final Fantasy X. That's where my Final Fantasy experience stops and starts. So once we get Blitzball, then yeah, I'm fine. Until that point, nah. Moving ahead. Matt Wales, this time at Eurogamer, says Xbox's carbon-aware energy-saving features are now available to everyone. Following insider testing, that's the headline and the tagline. Jump into the article. It says Xbox's new carbon-aware energy-saving feature, which launched for insider testing last month, is now available to everyone as part of the console's February update. Essentially, Xbox's new energy-saving feature allows a console, provided it's connected to the internet and has access to a regional carbon intensity data, to schedule game, app, and OS updates at a time a higher proportion of electricity is coming from lower carbon sources on the electric grid. Microsoft says this decreases fossil fuel dependency and CO2 emissions and could potentially save users money. Additionally, Microsoft once again highlights Xbox's shutdown, energy-saving mode, in its February update blog post, claiming it cuts power use by up to 20 times compared to the sleep power option. Shutdown mode was enabled automatically during recent insider testing, but it's not clear whether this is the case for general release. Either way, Microsoft claims that for every 2 consoles that switch to shutdown mode and use it for 20 hours each day over the course of a year, it'll save the carbon equivalent of 1 tree planted and grown for a decade. Away from energy-saving features, Xbox's February update gives users the option to hide game art, which it acknowledges some find distracting when selecting tiles on home. It also makes it possible to use the Google Home app as a touch remote control for an Xbox console. Do you know what? I'll leave that there. We don't need to talk about experimental features and stuff like that. Well, I saw the play there for that point.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
It's like full on, like...
Yeah. I'll give it a reset.
So... Xbox energy-saving features that can have a carbon-aware mode. So it's not just, do you want to go into power save, save a bit of energy. It goes into power save, and providing you have, what did it call? Regional... Can't find it. There we go. Has access to regional carbon intensity data. Basically, where you live... There is some data on that called regional carbon intensity. So if you live in Manchester, there might be shitloads of carbon fuels being used through the day because everyone needs loads of stuff. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, they switch over to more wind and solar powered based stuff because less people are using it. They don't need as much supply. So Xbox can be smart and go, oh, actually, I'm in Manchester because I know through my geodata stuff. So I'm going to download your updates at 3 o'clock in the morning when it's less intensive, saves more of the environment, and probably saves you cash because energy is cheaper at that point in time. Pretty cool.
So does it turn itself on at 3 o'clock in the morning, for instance? So if you put it into shutdown mode, at 3 o'clock, will it just like go into standby mode for it to be able to download, and then when it's finished downloading, it goes back into shutdown mode?
I feel like it's already the same. So you've got on, which uses 20 times more energy. Then you've got the sleep mode, the energy saving mode, which uses 20 times less energy. And then this carbon aware mode keeps it in the sleep mode, but then kicks it into a bit more awake, but not quite awake, like a halfway house where it's got enough power to download your shit, and then it goes back down to sleepy again.
Well, they were very careful about the wording that they're using in this, about especially when it comes to saving money, because they cannot be held liable if your expenditure keeps on going the way that it is, despite obviously the way that the world is at the moment, with prices going up here, there, and everywhere. So they're very careful with the wording. But again, technologies is moving for advancing so fast that stuff like this is just welcomed. In my opinion,
I love this stuff though. Like, how much will it have an impact? Probably. Maybe not that much on you, but on the world in general, I suppose it could have quite a big impact. And with the cost of energy and everything, although we are being rinsed, by the way. Did you see that fucking every energy supply is like earned sevenfold what they had the previous year or something? Fuckers.
Supply and demand, fuckers.
But I love this sort of stuff. And as very much, like, I'm not a PlayStation fanboy, but I am in the PlayStation camp. It's a fact. I play my PS5 a lot more than I play on my Series X, and I played my PS4 more than I played my One S, and so on. I'm in the PlayStation camp. I've owned the last 3 generations of Xbox consoles, but I'm a PlayStation person at heart. But I'm not afraid to say you would never see this coming first from PlayStation. PlayStation was for the players, for the people, for you, and now it's not really. It's okay. Well, we're massively successful now, so we are for you as long as we keep the success and the revenues and the stuff. Whereas Xbox is doing your power saves, your quick starts, your smart deliveries, and carbon aware now. It is cool to see this sort of stuff, and Xbox definitely is this whole. I mean, like, carbon aware, thinking about people, thinking about environment, thinking about making things more, even financially, potentially accessible. They also have the accessible controllers, the ones that if you don't have the full motor dexterity that an able-bodied person has, you can use the Xbox accessible controllers to be able to still play games. We don't have any of that stuff really to the same extent on PlayStation. So once again, Xbox innovates to make gaming just generally accessible, which is a huge move. And by far and away, they are way out in front when it comes to that sort of stuff. They
might not be winning it on the pitch at every single attempt, but they're definitely winning it off it. I don't think that's a statement that many people can balk at.
Yeah, I mean, corporate social responsibility, that's what you call it. A company that does something for the good of other people rather than just taking profits.
Yeah.
And you could, if you were a cynic, argue that a lot of companies that go after CSR stuff is because they can't win the main businessy stuff. It's not always the case. It can be the case. It's not always the case. I do feel like Xbox is probably earning enough cash, but having an award in your pocket to say that you've been more corporate socially responsible, be it better for the environment, be it better for less able-bodied gamers, whatever it is. If you're doing it for ulterior motives, people are still benefiting from it. So who cares? Who cares?
Still, and it also looks good on your CV, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So nice. Like to see it. I would like to see more of this rolling out. I mean, to be fair, if I could just get guaranteed certainty that putting my console into any form of energy saving mode would lead to updates, I would be happy with that as a starting point. If knowing that it's going to save me money at the same time, then that's even better. But before we get to that, will it happen? Nice.
I agree.
Not that one. This one.
Oh, this one. Okay.
Yeah. So
I took a gamble.
Ooh, fiddy. I'm sticking with the Xbox angle, you see. So sticking with Xbox, our next news story is about Game Pass. Hey, Tom Phillips at Eurogamer wiping up the slate today.
They've been good, you know.
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks. They're getting a bit faster out there with the news, so giving VGC a run for the money.
There's good people at Eurogamer. Wes Poole, Vicky Blake, Tom Phillips. We feature Eurogamer all the time, but VGC are usually for like finger on the pulse kind of thing. It's good to see Eurogamer going, fuck this, fuck these guys.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. So Eurogamer says Octopath Traveler, Alien Isolation are among the latest games to leave Xbox Game Pass. Yeah, games do leave Game Pass, by the way. They don't just stay there forever. It's not this bag of dreams that Phil Spencer wants you to believe. It cannibalizes game sales, we'll have you know. All right, settle down, Grace. Chill out. Also, Final Fantasy XIII Lightning returns and Dragon Ball Fighter Z. So into the article, it says, Microsoft has listed another set of titles due to leave Xbox Game Pass in the near future, and there are several high-profile departures. The excellent survival horror Alien Isolation and top-rated Dragon Ball Fighter Z are among the crop set to depart on the 28th of February. Square Enix role players Final Fantasy XIII Lightning Returns and Octopath Traveler are also getting the chop. Stylish top-down roguelike, crown trick, and moody naval puzzle adventure Far-Changing Tides are also set to depart. Finally, both the Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S versions of Madden NFL 21 will also be sent off the field.
I'm surprised that's still on there.
Yeah.
That's 2 edition. That's like, well, it's like FIFA 21. Do you know what I mean? It's like 2 years old now.
Is Madden is 22 on it instead? Is that like EA just going, sod it?
I have no idea.
But you think like 2 years back, surely just keeping it on Game Pass means that you're getting some form of revenue-ish or something. But then again, maybe they only signed a short-term license or something. Whatever. If you fancy trying any of the above before the departure, you now have just under a fortnight to do so. As a final reminder, another set of Game Pass titles will leave the subscription to service tomorrow, which is today, including Alan Wake developer Remedy's Crossfire X campaign. But it's not all bad news. In case you missed it, February's first batch of new additions has already been detailed, and it includes Atomic Heart, Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord, Shadow Warrior, and Cities Skylines, among others. Nice. And it mentioned at the bottom that Xbox Game Pass basically sucks balls. No, it's cannibalizing game sales potentially, but as we discussed in yesterday's show, we do feel free. Was it not? It was the day before. Do feel free to check that out. It's a good old conversation. Wrong one. That one. Nice. A few games leaving Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah. So it must have been
shock horror. Sorry, what were you saying?
It must have been Final Fantasy 13, like I mentioned before, but I thought that was the online one. Might have been 11, that's online. So Final Fantasy 13, that's the last one that I played on the 360. It was a really, really good game. I don't think he ever got around to finishing it because I think it was a long old game. But I vaguely remember going to Asda and buying that, and I think the latest BioShock at the same time. I walked out with 2 games anyway, and that was one of them. But yeah, it's like you say, they can't stay there forever. They would have just bought the licensing for it. The game turnover seems to be quite long, to be honest. They don't seem to go on and then come off quite quick. So they definitely give enough time for people to be able to play them. I don't know whether or not it's based off of people playing them. That'd make more sense, wouldn't it?
I mean, you'd think that, but also, like, I'm thinking Alien Isolation, that's a game that's probably been sold not open-endedly. It'll probably be a case of, if you want the game for 2 years, it'll be this much. If you want the game for 1 year, it'll be this much. 2 years will do you a better deal pound for pound, but it'll cost you more, obviously, than 1 year. So I feel like it's probably that sort of stuff. They're probably agreeing windows of where it's gone. And if there's a lot of people still playing it when it goes off, that's probably where there'll be a conversation there with Microsoft in a couple of months' time. Go, do you know what? It'd be nice to bring it back. We're not going to pay you the same amount we paid before, but we'll pay you a good chunk of cash. And then, I don't know who made Alien Isolation. They'll probably just be like, yeah, okay, go on then. Well, we're not selling it now because it's been on Game Pass, and you cannibalise all the sales. So
I think you'd be hard pushed by nowadays to not be able to find a console that you might own that doesn't have Alien Isolation on it. Like Epic Game Store have given that away multiple times. I think PlayStation Plus have had it on theirs multiple times. I'm fairly certain in that case that Xbox Live Gold members would have had that in their library at some point. So if you've not played that by now, you're probably never going to. Fantastic game, by the way. If you're a massive fan of horror or Alien itself, it's nothing like any of the other games that you've ever played before. It's literally like a survival horror. You don't have any weapons. You've got to stay hidden, essentially. Fantastic game.
It's an interesting observation though. Like Game Pass, best deal in video gaming by far, still massively. But you always get these peaks and troughs. Game Pass can't give you Gears of War 5 at launch every week, every month. There will always be months where, for me, the sum of games leaving outweighs the sum of games coming back in. Alien Isolation is a game I would play. Final Fantasy is not a game I would play, whether it's DLC, whether it's full main game or not. But it's a game that has good brand recognition for me. Madden's good brand recognition. Octopath Traveler and things like that. They're the kind of like the middle of the road ones for me. But seeing those going out, should I say, and then them being replaced by Atomic Heart, Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord, Shadow Warriors, and City Skyline, that's a loss, a cumulative loss for me. But that is part of the course. That will happen. The interesting thing, and this is where we'll jump into the next news article, is that we always have been talking about how Game Pass is better than PS Plus. It is. The overall package and the cost and what you get for it is so much better. But then you also, as a result of just coincidence, will get months like this, where Game Pass is arguably weaker with its departures and additions, but PS Plus gets things like it will get. So PS Plus Extra Premium confirms 17 new games for February 2023. Following a recent leak, Sony confirms 17 PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium games that will arrive on the service on February the 21st. So PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium subscribers have a total of 17 games they can claim later this month, including 4 classic games. Of course, fans also have the PS Plus free games for February 2023 to claim, which makes for a great month in conjunction. These titles are Evil Dead the Game. Oh, I've not got these as well, by the way. Ollie Ollie World, Destiny 2 Beyond Light, and Mafia the Definitive Edition. Oh, maybe I did. I don't know. I can't remember.
You definitely already got Mafia.
Yeah, I know I've got that. I just mean, like, I don't know whether I've claimed the games from the free stuff this month. But PS Plus users subscribe to the extra and or premium tiers get quite a bit more every month, as proven by the new selection of games. They will become available on February 21st and remain on the game catalogue for an undetermined amount of time, just like Game Pass. Fans don't have to rush, but there's plenty here to dive into regardless. As seen below, the PS Plus extra games for February 2023 includes Horizon Forbidden West.
Oof.
What a level of title that is to be able to add for a like we always use the words free when I talk about this, at no extra cost for subscribers. It'll be available at no extra cost. The Quarry, Resident Evil 7, not Village, but 7, Outriders, Scarlet Nexus, Borderlands 3, Tekken 7, Ace Combat 7, Earth Defense Force 5, Oninaki Lost Sphere, I Am Setsuna, and The Forgotten City. So some big games in there, and some depending on your interest in games, some other big games or some bloatware, essentially. It's a bit harsh on them. I just couldn't think of a better word. But they will be joined by 4 new games for PS Plus Premium, which includes PS1 titles Legend of Dragoon, Wild Arms 2, and Harvest Moon Back to Nature, as well as PS4 version of Destroy All Humans.
I've heard very, very good things about that.
What, Destroy All Humans?
The remaster version of that, yeah.
Only on PS4, though. So if you've got PS5 and you've opted into the next generation, screw you.
I mean, it'll still be playable on your PS5.
No, it won't. That doesn't suit my narrative. What's interesting here is the addition of Horizon Forbidden West. Sony has been open in the past about how it wouldn't add exclusive titles on day one, but it poses the question of if it will add games roughly a year after launch, as with Horizon Forbidden West here. However, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is not yet on the service and has been out longer, so it's hard to say. Perhaps the difference comes down to Horizon Forbidden West's upcoming Burning Shores DLC, as well as the upcoming PSVR release of Call of the Mountain, since Ratchet & Clank hasn't had any major development like this since the last release. Okay, we'll stop there. A couple of different angles. Obviously, the first one is the fact that coincidentally, this month, PS Plus Extra and Premium it gives you a better fresh offering than Game Pass. Game Pass overall still the better service. If you're going in blank with all of them, if you ask me which one should you get this month, and you've not played anything ever, Game Pass. If you've played them all up until this month, then Xbox is lacking this month compared to PS Plus. But there is a good question there at the end about Horizon. Horizon is a massive title. Horizon Forbidden West is a AAA first-party title from PlayStation, which won't ever be on their version of Game Pass on day one. But it's come a year later. But it's beaten Ratchet and Clank. Is that because they're figuring out timelines and stuff? Will we eventually start to get 12 months later the next The Last of Us game, or an Uncharted, or a Spider-Man, or whatever? Will they come in? Or is it not for the players? Hey, play this game. Is it for the payers? Is it actually, we'll give you this game because there is the new VR one that we want you to buy. Oh, and the 500 quid VR console that comes with it. Is it them giving something because they're realizing actually maybe some big titles will move this stuff? Or is it them trying to do a Last of Us Part 1, which only exists because the TV show's out and they can take 70 quid off you again? Thoughts?
Yes. Is my answer to that.
Correct.
I don't know. I genuinely have no idea. This is all finger in the wind stuff, but I can't imagine that the people who are subscribed to PlayStation Extra probably haven't played this game already. They are the hardest of hardcore PlayStation fans. They will be buying every single first-party game when that comes out. I believe that this is maybe planting a seed going forward, but maybe the odd percentage of people who haven't played this game, who are subscribed to it, have the opportunity to be able to do so. Like you say, they can then plug the DLC, so they might end up getting 20 quid off of them. They might love it that much that they end up going to buy the PlayStation VR 2 to be able to play the VR version of the game. Like, there's so many other things that could be going with this, but if I was to give you one answer that I think that this is relevant for, I'd probably say that this is just a little teaser to what's coming ahead, like just to keep it in the headlines again with the new versions of the game, DLC or PSVR 2 coming very, very soon. I don't know of another reason why that they would include this, because it's not setting a precedent for anything else other than the fact that you've got more Horizon Forbidden West stuff coming.
Burning Shores DLC.
Yeah, you've got more stuff coming at you soon. I imagine if there was to ever bring out a DLC for God of War, you're going to get something like this going forward. It makes perfect business sense, but it's just the people who are subscribed to this probably have already played it. I'd love to know the percentage of that.
I would say if you're ever going to get PS Plus Extra or Premium, get it this month.
Yeah.
When this comes in, but do not buy the Burning Shores DLC. Do not do that, because I imagine this is a suck it and see sort of scenario. This is a test run. They're looking at the analytics that they get off this, and if they put Horizon Forbidden West, a AAA title from PlayStation, onto PS Plus Extra and Premium, and the sales of PS Plus Extra and Premium go up,
yeah,
they will be like, ooh, okay, AAA equals sales on this.
I mean, it doesn't take a bloody genius to work that out in the first place, though, does it?
I know, but if they don't see that increase...
No, I know, if they don't have the figures right in front of them, but surely someone 2 years ago was sat on a board table and going, do you know what? If we put our first-party games into this package, reduce the price of it, because no one's paying £15 for this PlayStation now, it's a bag of shite. We will see a massive uptake in people wanting to subscribe to this new service. Surely someone said that before now.
The only thing is, though, is what if the game is massive and the people that are on PS Plus Extra and Premium are massive hardcore PlayStation fans and they all bought it 12 months ago? So there is no uptick in sales.
Yeah.
So if nobody buys this now and there's no uptick in the Burning Shores DLC, we won't see future, or we're less likely to see future AAA titles coming on, because Xbox has proven that subscription services, the Spotification of the world, as I saw a news article calling it the other day, that's a worry in the games industry because of sales being cannibalized. So if Horizon Forbidden West has its sales cannibalized now, but they don't see an uptick in PS Plus Extra or Premium, they're going to go, well, maybe a year was too soon.
Yeah.
Maybe we actually just do it 2 to 3 years later when no one is buying it at all.
Like Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, exactly. And at that point, we'll throw it in. The other flip side is if this comes onto this and we see an uptick in Burning Shores DLC sales, because people have got that but never bought the DLC and gone, actually I fucking love this game. I want to play the DLC. That also damages the potential of us getting not day one but early access or earlier access to AAA games, because they'll go, let's only do it when we've got something to sell, because that way the drop off and cannibalizing of sales feeds into the DLC. So you'll get PlayStation going, do we stick Ratchet and Clank on? Do we fuck? Because people, it's a family game. Mums and dads will still buy that whenever. Unless we've got DLC. Until we get to that. So yeah, the happiest situation for us is people out there that want to play this game buy Extra and Premium without the DLC, which tells PlayStation to give us more games on Extra and Premium. And the reason we want that is not because we want people to throw money at Extra and Premium. It's because then we get more access to more games more readily for one subscription fee, and everyone's happy. And we live in a world where Xbox Spotification, gamification, Game Pass stuff is wonderful.
Do you know what I've not worked out yet? And this must be super, super simple. But if you've got a game on like a Game Pass or a PlayStation Plus Extra, whatever it's called now, and you buy DLC, is that compatible with the version that's on that?
I don't know actually. It might be a case of you've got the DLC, but as soon as your subscription ends, you can't play your DLC until you then buy the game.
Well, this is what I was thinking. Like, are they hoping that people who played the game on like PlayStation now, I'm going to use that in air quotes, PlayStation Plus Extra, whatever the top is it premium?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Whatever.
Extra premium. So essential extra premium or something like that.
Yeah. So it's PlayStation Premium. Are they expecting people who might like the new Forbidden game for you to want to go out and buy like the Game of the Year edition because you get the DLC with it, but then you're going to pay £60 rather than your next subscription fee or the £20 DLC? Like, what's their best case scenario with this? Surely it's them going out and buying the full-fledged, full top dollar game rather than subscribing and paying the difference. Because I don't think I've ever bought a DLC pack for a game that's on Game Pass or anything.
I haven't. I imagine someone will have had this, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was something that somebody didn't think about until it became a problem for someone somewhere. Someone got Game Pass, it expired, or PS Plus Extra Premium, it expired, and they've gone, okay, well, I actually love this game so much that I went to my local game store, got a second-hand copy for £3, put it in my console, and it doesn't work with it because it was a digital one. And they'll be like, oh, we didn't fucking realise. Oh, no.
Yeah.
We've got to figure that shit out.
I mean, it can't be a problem because I've not heard anybody talking about it. It must just work. But it's, again, there's that small element of, okay, will this actually work? Surely someone's bought DLC for a game that's on Game Pass. Like, I'm not talking about in-game microtransactions, by the way, just before anyone gets in the comments or anything, but I'm talking about a fully fledged DLC package for like £20 that enhances the story or extends the story or something.
Yeah, like Last of Us Left Behind DLC.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
That comes built in part one. But if it was that sort of thing, or the Uncharted Lost Legacy or whatever it was called, like although that was a standalone game, but yeah, same. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. I mean, I do feel like subscription services would make me less likely to buy a DLC though, because that's like buying a knife to go with the fork that you get on your subscription stuff, and then knowing that when you're done at the end, you're just going to have a knife. It's like, what's the point in that? Or like a chair, and you get two legs of it on the knife and fork's a bit silly because a knife's still usable. A chair that you get two legs, the front legs with your subscription, you get the back legs as DLC. Oh, I'll take the back legs. Yeah, fucking, I want the full complete experience. And then you finish your subscription, it's like, oh, well, I've just got two legs from a chair.
Yeah,
great. What am I going to do with this?
I can't see it being a problem, but like I say, if a game like Octopath Traveler, if that got some DLC, I don't know whether it has. I've never played it, but if that got DLC and then the game's then being pulled, you're just left with the DLC. You can't bloody play it, can you?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Surely
it's a problem that someone's come up against already. Because
I feel like it probably was a problem. I mean, we're almost a year in. It was like June, July, August last year when PS Plus came out, and obviously Game Pass is years in now. That's like 4 or 5 years. So they probably had those issues 4 or 5 years ago. So they probably came and went pretty quickly for Xbox and PlayStation 12 months to 5 years ago. So I imagine it's not a problem right now. But we're going to start to wrap things up. If you missed it, PS Plus Extra had 17 new games, including Horizon Forbidden West, The Quarry, Resident Evil 7, Outriders, Scarlet Nexus, Borderlands 3, Tekken 7. I'll stop just there. Even that is a big variety. Horizon Forbidden West, arguably a great game. The Quarry, not played it. I've seen shitloads of people saying it's a great game. Resident Evil 7.
Banger.
Nice. Outriders.
I didn't realise that was still going. I apologise.
I genuinely thought it had been sunsetted as well. Scarlet Nexus, don't know. Borderlands 3.
Banger.
Tekken 7, if you're into fighting games, badass. And then we get into the other ones, like Ace Combat 7s, if you're interested for fighting games and so on. But even just that top 5 or whatever it was, an absolute selection at PS Plus. So PS Plus Premium and Extra is definitely going in the right way. That's not even touching on the other stuff like the Destroy All Humans and the Legend of Dragoon and stuff like that, the PS1 and PS4 titles and so on. So GG's to PS Plus. And it's nice to see PS Plus outperforming the greatest deal in gaming for 1 month. But it's got it's got a lot more months of doing that before
it's got to catch up.
Catches up. On that bombshell, we're going to finish up. If you need to catch up, you can watch the whole thing back live-ish on Twitch, or you can check it out later on when it does hit YouTube. We will be available on all audio and podcast services if you want to listen to that too. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode, but before that happens... Is there aught you'd like to add?
Yes, again, thank you very much for you guys for tuning in today. But if you want to help shape the one remaining show that we have this week, there's 2 ways you can do so. First of all, find us on social media. It is at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms, or alternatively, get involved with our Discord. If you go into the links below, everything's there that you will need. But all we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and opinions. We will then give you our thoughts and opinions on the very next show, which will be what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
10
a.m. ish.
10 a.m. ish. We'll be back at 10 a.m. ish. We do work in the video games industry, so we bring you the podcasts whenever we can around work. We aim for 10 a.m. Sometimes it's close to 10 a.m. It's not very often. Other times it's when it is. We went live at like 2:30ish today, so we'll be back tomorrow 10 a.m. ish. For now, though, stick around. We're going to drop a raid on one of our friends. Be nice to pass on some love. Say hello to someone else. We would appreciate if you can do us a solid and go along with that raid. But for now, have yourselves a beautiful time.
And stay frosty.